राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees and pranams. Thank you for joining in for our Chaitanya Charitamrita study session. Let's begin with the prayers. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Govinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Govinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Govinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gauravakta Vrinda. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauradvishe Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Taralaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Aradhya Bhagavan Rajeshutane Saddama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadu Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Puranamalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatra Dharana Para आई दीन दयाद्रनाथ है मथुरा नाथ कदावलोक्य से हृदयं त्वदालोककातरं दैत्यभ्राम्यति किं करोम्यहम् दैत्यभ्राम्यति किं करोम्यहम् आजानुलम्बितो भुजौ कनकावदातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वाम्बरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ. Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you for our Chaitanya Charitamrita study session. We are on Adi Leela. Hare Krishna. So we are on Adi Leela, chapter number 5, on the glories of Sri Nityananda Ram. Ha ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Balo Kana Karo Ami Boro Dukhi. Aha Prabhu Nityananda, you are Prema Ananda Sukhi. You are an embodiment of eternal bliss. Kripa karo, kana karo, ami boro dukhi. Please be merciful unto me. I am very, very unhappy. So in this way, we can all pray to Nityananda Prabhu. He is eternally happy. While we are caught up in this material world, we are eternally sad. And our only hope of happiness is when our misery goes away. Right? We were discussing the other day. We have severe headache, extreme misery. But we take some tablet and then our misery, our headache goes off and we think that is only happiness. But that is not happiness. That is only absence of misery. Just like there is no identity for darkness. The absence of light is darkness. So like that only, the absence of happiness, misery is what we consider happiness is just the absence of misery. But that is not the actual definition of happiness. Happiness means ananda. That Nityananda Prabhu is eternally ananda, right? And that ananda can be experienced only when we serve, when we develop love and devotion unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. And that is possible only by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, who is eternally happy, because he is eternally serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is not different from Balaram, serving Lord Krishna, like that. All right, let's move ahead. Text number 111. We are continuing with the glories of Sri Nityananda Prabhu as given in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 5 of the Adi Leela, text number 111 onwards. Taha Shirodadi Madhye Shvetadvipa Nama Palayita Vishnu Tara Se Nija Dhama. Synonyms of word meaning. Tanha, within that, Shira Udadi Madhye, in part of the ocean known as the ocean of milk. Shvetadvipa Nama, the island named Shvetadvipa. Palayita Vishnu, the maintainer, Lord Vishnu. Tara of him. Say that Nija Dhama own residential waters. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There, in part of the ocean of milk, lies Shvetadvipa, the abode of the sustainer, Lord Vishnu. So, we all know Lord Vishnu lies down in the ocean of milk. It's called Shvetadvipa. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the Siddhanta Shiromani, an astrological text, the different oceans are described as follows. There is the ocean of salt water, which is there in this material world, isn't it? Any amount of salt water we cannot drink. Even a drop will not quench our thirst. That is the ocean of salt water, which is there in this material world. The ocean of milk, Kshira, right? Kshirodhika Sai Vishnu. He lies down on the milk ocean. That's the ocean of milk. The ocean of yogurt, the ocean of clarified butter, the ocean of sugarcane juice, the ocean of liquor, the ocean of sweet water. On the southern side of the ocean of salt water is the ocean of milk, where Lord Kshirodhika Sai Vishnu resides. He is worshipped there by demigods like Brahma. So in the material world, we have only the experience of salt water ocean. Text number 112. Sakala jive rati ho hai antaryami jagat palakati ho jagatera swami. Sakala all, jiver of the living entities. Tiho, he. Haye is. Antayami, the super soul. Jagat palaka, the maintainer of the material world. Tiho, he. Jagatera swami, the lord of the material world. He is the super soul of all living entities. He maintains this material world and he is its lord. Purport. The Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Purva 2.36 to 42, gives the following description of the Vishnu Loka within this universe, quoted from the Vishnu Dharmottara. Above Rudra Loka, the planet of Lord Shiva, is a planet called Vishnu Loka, 400,000 miles in circumference, which is inaccessible to any mortal living being. Above that Vishnu Loka and east of the Sumeru hill is a golden island called Mahavishnu Loka in the ocean of salt water. Oh, okay. There is salt water even in the spiritual world, looks like. Okay. Lord Brahma and other demigods sometimes go there to meet Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu lies there with the goddess of fortune, and it is said that during the 4 months of the rainy season, Chaturmasya, which is going on right now, he enjoys sleeping on that Seshanag bed. East of Sumeru is the ocean of milk, in which there is a white city on a white island, where the Lord can be seen sitting with his consort, Lakshmiji, on a throne of Shesha. That feature of Vishnu also enjoys sleeping during the 4 months of the rainy season. The Shvetadvipa in the Milk Ocean is situated just south of the ocean of salt water. It is calculated that the area of Shvetadvipa is 200,000 square miles. This transcendently beautiful island is decorated with the desired trees to please Lord Vishnu and his consort. There are references to Shvetadvipa in the Brahmanda Purana, Vishnu Purana, Mahabharata, and Padma Purana. And there is a following reference in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.15.18. Shvetadvipapato chittam shuddhe dharma maye mayi dharayana shvetatam yati sat urmi rahito naraha. My dear Uddhava, you may know that my transcendental form of Vishnu in Shvetadvipa is identical with me in divinity. Anyone who places this Lord Shvetadvipa within his heart can surpass the pangs of the 6 material tribulations: hunger, thirst, birth, death, lamentation, and illusion. Thus, one can attain his original transcendental form. Yeah, so we all experience this, right? Hunger, thirst, very easily we all experience. Birth, we think birth is something very wonderful. We celebrate our birthdays, right? But when our birthday comes every year, it means that we are moving closer to death, isn't it? So that is why when our birthday comes, we have to especially become more sober and more determined to practice devotional service in a very nice way, right? So we have 1 year left, 1 year less left, so as to practice devotional service and attain the goal of life, right? So that can be a moment of celebration that I still have the opportunity to perfect my life by rendering devotional service. So birthday can be both happiness and a very sobering kind of situation, right? But depending on what is our thought process, right? We can either try to enjoy the day without following any rules and regulations. Like some people say, it is my birthday, I'll do anything, whatever I want. Right? Either we can go do that, or we can consciously on our birthday think that this is a human opportunity, is such a rare gift. Right? Edana yaubana putra parijana iteke ache parati tire kamala dala jala jivana dala mala bajaho haripadani tire. Right? Life is tottering like a water, like a drop of water on a lotus leaf. Right? It can fall down at any time. Right? So, bajahu haripadani tire. It's very, very important to worship Krishna. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Siksha. Right? So it is very important to worship Krishna, chant the names of Krishna, and also give Krishna to others. This is the best way to celebrate not only our birthday, but also every other day in our life. Right? Thanking the Lord for this human form of life and the association of devotees, the books of Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, the association of devotees, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, all of our Siksha Guru, our Diksha Guru. We can be grateful for all of them. And on all days, especially we can do so on the day of our birthday. Right? That can be a way we can celebrate our birthday. And of course, death, we all know. Right? It is a very sorrowful experience, because it is like many millions of scorpions are biting. It is explained in Bhagavatam. So death, we all know, is a sorrowful experience. And lamentation and illusion. Lamentation is we feel very miserable when we are attached to something and that thing gets lost. Right? We lament, oh, why did I lose it? Oh, what did I do? And then we think, what did I do? Where all I went? How did I lose it? Right? So in this way, we lose in this way, we lament for what we have lost. And then illusion. Illusion is we attach ourselves to this body. Janasya mohasya aham mameti. We think that whatever is attached to this body is mine. This is my laptop, this is my mobile, this is my speaker, this is my water bottle. And the more we are attached to the things, the more that particular thing has a potential to cause suffering for us. Right? The other day we were discussing, if the laptop falls down and breaks, or for example, the mobile phone falls down, there's a crack on the mobile. The extent to which we are attached to that mobile, the extent to which that mobile or the laptop or the speaker has given us pleasure, it has the potential to give us much more misery. Right? Because all of them are, there is an accountancy, there is depreciation. Right? We provide for it as soon as we receive the laptop. Right? The laptop will only keep depreciating, and at a particular point in time will not work. That is the nature of the objects of this material world, including the human body. Right? It will only deteriorate. It will be, and for a living person, like for example, the soul is there in the body. Then two additional things are there. One is maintenance, and one is producing byproducts. Right? Growth and producing byproducts. Both are there. If it is a jiva, right? If it is a living entity, like it's true for whether it is a tiger or a human being or any animal or a bird, right? As long as the jiva is present or the soul is present in the body, right? There are two additional things which also happen, which is growth as well as producing byproducts. But when it comes to a laptop or a speaker, then there are only four things that happens, right? There is no producing byproducts and there is no growth. Right? What happens is it comes into existence and then it starts deteriorating and then it dies. That means it doesn't work. Right? So that is the nature of this material objects. So the more we are attached to such material objects, the more we are giving ourselves an opportunity to get suffering, because that material object is definitely going to not work someday or the other. So hunger, thirst, birth, death, lamentation and illusion. One can surpass all of these things. How can we surpass all of these things? We can surpass all of these things when we depend on the Lord. When we understand, when we have the Sambandha Gyan. Who am I? I am an eternal spirit soul. Who is Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what is my relationship with Krishna? My relationship with Krishna is that of a servant. And that I can work in that consciousness. If I work on that consciousness of being a servant of the Lord, utilizing everything in the service of the Lord, whatever talents, resources, things, objects we possess, if you utilize it in the service of the Lord, then we are not attached to that object. Then to that extent, we protect ourselves from lamentation as well as illusion. Text number 113. युगा मन्वंतरे धरी नाना अवतार, धर्म संस्थापना करे अधर्म संहार. What meaning? Yuga Manu Antare, in the ages and millenniums of Manu, Dhari accepting, Nana various avatara incarnations, Dharma Samstapana Kare, establish the principles of religion, right? The famous verse in Bhagavad Gita, Dharma Samstapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. So Krishna appears again and again to establish the principles of religion. Adharma Samhara, and also vanquish the irreligious principles. In the ages and millenniums of Manu, he appears as different incarnations to establish the principles of real religion and vanquish the principles of irreligion. Purport. Lord Vishnu, who lies in the ocean of milk, incarnates himself in various forms to maintain the laws of the cosmos and to annihilate the causes of disturbance. Such incarnations are visible in every Manvantara in the course of the reign of each Manu, who lives for 71 into 43 lakh 20,000 years. 14 such Manus take their birth and die to yield a place for the next during one day of Brahma. Right? The other day we were discussing how Brahmaji is having every day at least we have a very scheduled Brahma Murta program. Right? We know what we have to do in the morning. We wake up in the morning and we can simply chant Hare Krishna. We cleanse ourselves externally and we cleanse ourselves internally by chanting Hare Krishna. The other day we were discussing how Brahmaji, because there is a pralaya that also happens at the night of Brahma. Every day in the morning, Brahma has to create, right? And at the end of the lifetime of Brahma, there is a greater pralaya, Naimittika pralaya, right? So in that way, every day of Brahma is like performing tapasya, creation of the secondary creation, right? And why Brahma is doing it? Brahma is doing it for the pleasure of the Lord. And we know, A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punar Avartino Arjuna. Even Brahma's position is not permanent. We cannot stay in Brahma Loka for eternally, right? So Brahma is a position. Anyone can become Brahma if they perfect their lives, if they perform a certain number of yajnas, right? Whatever. Like if you perform 100 yajnas, you become Indra, like that, right? It's not possible in this age of Kali to perform any yajnas, even if we manage to become Brahma, right? Then one day of Brahma, which is like 43 lakhs 20,000 years, right? That is considered a split second as far as Lord Krishna's eternality is concerned. Right? Because although Brahmaji lives for so many years, it looks like Brahmaji lives eternally from our perspective, right? We live for 100 years as per our material perspective. And Brahmaji's one day is 43 lakh 20,000 years of our material world. It looks like Brahma lives eternally, but even Brahma has to die. And Brahma's term of, which sounds so much, so many zeros, sometimes we can't even count the term of the lifetime of Brahmaji. But then, from the point of view of Lord Krishna, who is eternal, and in comparison of that to Brahma's long lifespan, Brahma's lifespan is like a split second. Just like when we compare our lifespan with a cheetah, with a small insect, right? That insect may have a lifespan of hardly 2-3 hours, right? So, when we think our lifespan is too high when we compare to the cheetah, right? So, it all works in comparison. But ultimately, whether it is Brahmaji or the ant, whether it is Indra or Indra Gopa, like that Prabhupada explains, whether it is Indra or Indra Gopa or whatever, whether it is an ant or Indra or Brahma or we living entities, we all have to die. We may have different expiry dates, right? We buy rice and dal. There is expiry date, right? Use within this time. After that, it spoils, right? So similarly, all of us have when the soul is taken a material body, the expiry date is already written. It is only that we don't know. It is not written on our forehead or on our body like it is written on a packet, right? But we don't know, but we have to, all of us have to die. So what is the goal of human form of life? Anta kalecha mameva smaranmuktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nati atra samshaya. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, just remember me at the time of death. And if you remember me, you will come back to me. But it is not magic, right? Ajamil could think of Narayana, his own son. But Ajamila could think of that because he had engaged in devotional service. But he got diverted because he saw some prostitute embracing a man and he got diverted. But because of the devotional service that he had done before that, he got the opportunity to name his son Narayana, remembered his son Narayana, and got a second chance to remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana. He went to Badrikashram and Haridwar, right? And he perfected his life, right? So we are all struggling with our 16 rounds chanting only, right? So in that state of affairs, what should we do? right? And Krishna says, Yam yam vapi svaran bhavam tyajati anta kalevaram tam tam eveti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. If we practice throughout our life remembering Krishna 24 hours of the day, like Radhesham Prabhu says, even when we are going to sleep, so we reiterate all this we've heard many, many times. But are we putting it inside our heart? Is it going inside into our heart as wisdom? Or is just staying in our head as knowledge? Right? Is it going into our heart is what is very important. So if it is going into our heart, then we understand that this 6 hours of sleep that I'm going to undertake right now is also devotional service, because I'm going to get rejuvenated and I'm going to chant Hare Krishna very nicely tomorrow morning. In this consciousness, when we're going to sleep, even those 6 hours become devotional service. So in this way, when we utilize 24 hours of the day in remembering the Lord, in serving the Lord with the consciousness that whatever I'm doing it for the pleasure of the Lord, then Krishna says at the end of your life, you'll be able to remember. Because Prabhupada explains in a lecture how at the end of our life, at the moment of death, the entire life comes in front of us like a flashback. What all we've been doing, what all have attracted our attention throughout our life. We've been watching movies and TV serials and whatnot. Those things only will come. And then we will also be born in that particular situation where that eternal crying and complaining is going on. Right? This person did this. Why me? Why it's happening to me? Why this person did that time? You know, all these discussions perennially, we can do that. Life after life, we can do that. Or, Mama Janmani Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahetukituhe. Life after life, we can desire to engage in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We can go back home, back to Godhead. We can reawaken our love for Krishna in this lifetime. So it is within our hands. It is the choices that we make every minute, every second, that is going to determine our future destination. And ultimately, our destination at the end of this life. Right? It is every choice that we make, every second, the choices that we make is going to determine our future destination, and it's also going to determine our destination at the end of when we give up this body. So it's very, very important. What is the choice that I make? So we don't want to become Brahma, right? There's a very beautiful song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Kita janma ho jata तुआदासा बहिर्मुख ब्रह्मा जन्मे nahi asha. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing, Kita janma ho jata tua das, right? I'm okay to become a worm in the house of a devotee of the Lord, rather than bahir mukha brahma janme nahi as. I don't want to become Brahma and become unnecessarily puffed up. So we don't want to become Brahma. We want to become a devotee. We want to be connected to a devotee. We want to serve a devotee who is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In that association, when we stand behind a pure devotee of the Lord, we will be seen by Krishna. And that is the goal of life. Text number 114. देवगणेन पाय याहार दर्शन क्षीरोदक तीरे याया करेना stavana. Synonyms or what word meaning? Devagane, the demigods, na not, paya get, yahara whose, darshana sight, kshira udaka tire on the shore of the ocean of milk, yai go, karena stavana offer prayers. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Unable to see him, the demigods go to the shore of the ocean of milk and offer prayers to him. The denizens of heaven who live in the planetary systems beginning from Swarga Loka cannot even see Lord Vishnu in Shvetadvipa. Unable to reach the island, they can simply approach the beach of the milk ocean to offer transcendental prayers to the Lord, appealing to him on special occasions to appear as an incarnation. So all of we see that whenever there is the rise of religious principles, then all the devatas, they go to Brahmaji, and Brahmaji, even Indra for that reason, right? When Indra actually displeased the Lord by sending that floods into Vrindavan, right? Indra also took Gomata and he went and begged forgiveness from Krishna. So only pure devotees of the Lord can enable a person to have darshan of Krishna. Right? If we go on our own with our ahankar, we will not be able to see Krishna. Right? Could not see Krishna. Although Krishna was personally present before Duryodhana. He offered Duryodhana that we will not have the fight if we just give 5 villages to the Pandavas. But Duryodhana was so puffed up. Right? He was so scared also within, but he was so puffed up. He said, I will not even give That much land that a pin can also cover, right? So he was talking to Krishna, but yet he could not recognize Krishna. But the wonderful devotees of the Lord, premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santaha sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achinta gunaswarupam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. The great devotees of the Lord can see Krishna every second in their heart because their eyes are anointed with love. Prema anjana. Anjana means kajal, right? We apply kajal in our eyes. When we apply prema anjana, the love of Krishna, then we are able to see Krishna eternally in our hearts. Santaha sadaiva, eternally, always see Krishna in the hearts. So if you are not able to see Krishna, right, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, it is better to, instead of endeavoring to see Krishna, we should work in such a way that Krishna sees us, right? And we gave the example in our Bhagavad Gita discussion, we gave the example how if there is a CEO and there is a new recruit in a company, the new recruit wants to meet the CEO, right? But when he calls the HR department and says, I want to meet the chief executive officer, I'm so full of ideas, I want to meet the CEO and tell him, the secretary says, sorry, sir, the CEO is very busy. So I can give you an appointment next year, March, right? I'm joining in maybe this April. Next year, March, I can give you an appointment because the CEO is very busy. His calendar is full for the entire year. But that employee, he works, he puts all his ideas into place. He develops good relationships, good contacts, works for the company in such a way that he becomes declared as the employee of the year, say by July of the month, right? In 3 months. Then the same secretary who gave an appointment for next March, she calls him and tells that the CEO wants to meet you, right? Right? And she asks him, when are you free, sir? Are you free on Monday morning? Are you free on Wednesday? The CEO would like to meet you, right? The same person who could not get an audience until next March is given choice. Why? Because he had worked for the company. He had worked for the company in such a way that the CEO wants to meet him, right? So in this way, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, if we engage in our devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna and please Lord Sri Krishna, we can please Krishna only when we please our gurus. We follow the instruction of our gurus. That's first thing. So when we please our gurus and thereby please Lord Sri Krishna, eternally we can have darshan of Krishna because Krishna will want to see us. If Krishna wants to see us, who can stop us? Right? Who can stop Krishna from seeing us? Isn't it? So the best way, intelligent way, is to work in such a way that Krishna wants to see us. Right? So we please our gurus and please Krishna and enable ourselves, give ourselves the opportunity to be seen by Krishna. And then nobody can stop our having darshan of Lord Sri Krishna. So in this way, we have to work in such a way that we can be seen by Krishna. So here, what was the context here? The context is, the Devatas, they all go, even Brahma for that reason. He goes and, renders the Purusha Shukta prayers, right? He goes and prays to the Lord, but he is also not able to see the Lord. But only Brahma can at least hear what the Lord is saying. The other Devatas, Indra and all, they cannot even hear the Lord. They are just there offering their prayers. And Brahma, who is the leader, Brahma is able to at least hear what the Lord is saying. And the Lord says, okay, don't worry. I am appearing in my form as Krishna. Or I will appear as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Balarama, Sri Rama, Buddha, Kalki. And I will take care of it. Don't worry. You go. Right? And Brahma is like telling all the Devatas, okay, this is what Lord Vishnu is telling. Right? So, in this way, it is impossible for any of us, even Brahmaji cannot see the Lord on his own capacity. But when we please the Lord, then the Lord will enable us to see him. Like Santaha Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. When the Lord wants to see, when the Lord wants to give us mercy, then we will be able to see the Lord. So that was the reason I ventured into this. All right. Okay, so let's move ahead. Text number 115. Last verse for today. तबे अवतारी करे जगत पालना अनंत वैभवतार नाही गणना. Tabe at that time, avatari descending, kare does jagat palana, maintenance of the material world. Ananta, unlimited. Vaibhava, the opulences. Tara, of him. Nahika, there is not. Ganana, counting. Translation: he then descends to maintain the material world. His unlimited opulences cannot be counted. His unlimited opulences cannot be counted. Yeah, thank you so much. Here we will end our session today. So we can meditate on the inconceivable opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Achintya, Abheda, Bheda Tattva. Right? We are all equal to the Lord. Why we are all constantly seeking happiness in this world? Because we are part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna is eternally happy. Right? And Krishna expands, from his own form, he expands into Radharani. And in this way, Radha Krishna enjoy several pastimes. And when Krishna wants to establish, this Madhurya rasa to the highest level, then they join together to incarnate as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Sikshartameka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari Kripambudir Yasyam Aham Prapadye. Right? He incarnates as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most munificent incarnation, to teach us how to do bhakti. Right? Krishna tells us Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. You surrender. Right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the mode of Srimati Radharani, teaches us how to execute devotional service, how to offer obeisances, how to deal with devotees. Last 24 years of the 48 years of earthly lila of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the last 24 years he was in Jagannath Puri, right? Of course, he went to Vrindavan before that. He went to Vrindavan, he went to Jagannath, he went to South India Yatra, he preached, all that. But last 24 years, he was completely in Jagannath Puri, right? And what was he teaching? He was teaching by his own personal sadachar. And as a devotee of the Lord, how are we to execute devotional service? How to cultivate relationships with the devotees? What is the kind of inquiry that has to be made? Right? The questions that he asks, Ramananda Rai tells us what are the queries that you have to ask. Right? So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown us practicals. Right? In science, we have theory and we have practicals. You have to go to the lab and hence proved. Right? So like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving, a theory is given by Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also gave, they're just 8 verses. It's a theory that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us. But his entire life was a life of practicals. How he embodied those 8 verses. Ashlishyava padaratam pinashtumam adarshanan marmahatam karotu va yata tathava vidadatu lampato mat prananatastu sa eva naparaha. Okay, Krishna, you may embrace me or you may leave me alone. But you are my unconditional master, life after life. This is the highest tattva that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emulated. And this is the mode of Srimati Radharani. So this is where we want to be. But currently we are in, I want this, I want this material thing, I want this material. It's okay. It is okay. We don't want to artificially give up our material taste and desires. Akama sarva kamova moksha kam udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. We can worship only Krishna. Krishna, I want this job. Krishna, I want a lot of money. Krishna, I want this car. Krishna, I want 2-3 mobiles. Fine. But we can ask only Krishna. If it is good for us, Krishna will give us. We are not worshipping any demigods. But when we want only Krishna Prem, then we can worship Lord Shiva, we can worship anyone, we can worship Katyayani Devi. Like they worshipped, Gopis worshipped Katyayani Devi to get Krishna as her husband. Right? We don't want to imitate Gopis at this level where our heart is full of desires. We don't want to worship demigods to get material things. But when our heart is so purified, then we may worship Katyayani Devi to get Krishna. But when our heart wants anyone other than Krishna, we have to worship only Krishna. Then if Krishna finds it beneficial for us to get the job, to get the mobile, to get the car, to get whatever, then we will get. And we can utilize that in the service of Krishna. Right? So the best position to be in is always worship Krishna, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj says, Krishna Mati Rastu. That is the ultimate blessing that we can ever have. And Guru Maharaj profusely gives that blessings every time Guru Maharaj addresses in any class. At the end of the class, he says, Krishna Mati Rastu. That is the greatest blessing we can ever have. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavinebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrindi ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Granth Raj Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. So we continue to chant extra rounds and perform more devotional service until 25th of August minimum, as prescribed by His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj. And in this way, I was asking Kishori Mataji in today's class, what should be our mood when we are doing these extra rounds? And Mataji said, when we are chanting, we should just think that I love my Guru Maharaj. And I'm telling Krishna through my increased prayers, increased chanting, oh Krishna, I love my Guru Maharaj because my Guru Maharaj has connected me to you, Krishna, like that. So in this way, we can chant extra rounds. And for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga, we can chant extra rounds and dedicate them for the good health and long life of His Holiness Shri Jayapataka Swami, Shri Guru Maharaj. ग्रंथराज श्री चैतन्य चरितामृता की जय. श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. ब्रह्म मध्व गौड़ीय वैष्णव गुरु परंपरा की जय. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees. We'll meet tomorrow morning, 4:30 a.m. for our Brahma Muhurta chanting, and then we'll meet at between 12 and 12:30. I'll send a message and we'll meet for our continuation of Chaitanya Charitamrita study session. Dandavat pranams.